Hey there, you're tuning in to LowKey by LowKey, our easygoing sessions for hotel professionals where we chat about industry trends, issues, and solutions.
Well, welcome everyone to our newest episode of LowKey by LowKey. I'm super excited to be hosting this episode and even more excited to introduce our guest for today. Her name is Ashley Williams. She has 11 years of experience in the hospitality vertical at Mitel. She has been focusing her whole career, or at least these 11 years, which is a big part of the career, in delivering applications for hospitality leaders, as well as providing the ultimate guest experience. Welcome, Ashley.
Yes, thank you for having me.
So today's episode is going to be focused about hospitality trends for 2024. So Ashley, as I was mentioning, is very experienced in the field and has been looking into 2023, I guess. And yeah, we've been talking a little bit, chatting, and hopefully this episode is going to help hotelier for 2024 to be set on the right path.
Yes, 2023 was quite the year. Lots of change for hospitality and for Mitel. And I think that a lot of what we saw in 2023 is really going to carry into 2024. So if we kind of kick it off into what those trends are, what we see. Last year, we saw a huge challenge in retaining and recruiting staff, not just in hospitality, but really in all markets, but primarily, of course, hitting our market really in a big way. So one of those challenges, those solutions to that challenge was AI. And I think AI is absolutely here to stay, and it will continue into 2024, really at a different speed. We have a lot of customers that are implementing AI, and that AI solution is really twofold. It's a virtual concierge front office solution, as well as back office, more of reservations and booking process. And so it's allowing our customers to do more with less and leveraging that AI. So for those that are wondering what AI is, an example would be that you check into a hotel and you get a text message that says, "I'm your virtual concierge. I'm here to help you," right? That's a bot experience for the front desk. But we also see it really in the reservations in that booking process. So as a guest, you call the hotel and you receive a bot instead of a live agent or staff member helping you through that booking process. So I believe in 2024 it's really going to expand to be more better technology. So as a guest, it's going to question, is this a bot or is this a real person? Because it's better technology to really enhance that experience. But it's going to be more predictable. It's going to create more of a revenue generating tool for the hotel owners. And what I mean by that is I see that these AI engines are really going to help drive new experiences and customized guest experience. So that example of a bot taking your call and helping you with that booking process, I believe that it's going to take it to that one step further. They're going to be able to identify that guest's profile indicates that they stayed there the same time last year, for example.
And sorry to interrupt, but because it sounds very definitely super interesting. But so if I play the role of a hotelier who isn't super high tech, for example, or my hotel is not really that year yet, but I do want to start implementing AI, where would you suggest starting with it, right? Because as you mentioned, a lot of very interesting and very useful things that would definitely help and transform various aspects of the hotel operations. But if you would have to rank them, or if you would have to suggest me where to begin with, how would you do that?
Yeah, I think you need to understand what your customers, your guest profiles are, right? There's going to be a big range of different types of guests that you have that are staying at your property, and not all of them want AI, right? So you need to understand who your guests are, and we see from our customers they're doing just that. not every guest is going through that AI solution, let's say, right? So they're being able to identify that, actually right now, their high profile guests are not. From my experience and our customers, they're allowing them to go to a live agent. So just really understanding what type of calls you're getting and, what calls can be managed by that AI solution.
That is actually very funny that you're mentioning that, because I had on top of my mind to ask how do you handle the risk of having more and less tech-driven guests at your hotel, right? Because I remember one of the latest episodes we recorded was about Gen Z and millennials, and I was wondering, how do you adapt to these new trends and this new tech for the latest generations without excluding the previous generations?
Yeah,
and our guests,
Yeah, it's really important, right? Because it's the balance. And not all person of different types of people are going to want, AI, right? So people may think that young kids would like a touchless AI solution over, let's say, the older generation. But there are a lot of grandmas and grandpas out there that are very tech savvy. So it's not just an age, right? You really need to balance between the two. And we believe at Mitel, that's really where we come into play, because we help our customers understand that whatever technology you're investing in, we can help bridge that gap. So we integrate to all these different best of breeds technology. We're talking about AI now, but there's so many out there, and you need to be able to be open to working with other best of breed technologies to bridge that gap. So, for example, if you do implement an AI solution and that guest gets frustrated with the AI solution, maybe it's an older technology that hasn't, been refreshed, and it's very much a bot, right? You could tell it's very robotic and is not grasping what the guest is trying to say. You have that integration to a UC platform like Mitel that can work with that AI solution. So whatever data was gathered from that AI engagement app carries through to that live person, so that guest doesn't have to repeat everything that they just tried to
100%,
tell you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what about from the hotel side? Because of course, we said you have to implement according to the guest and the kind of guest that you have. But is there a concern of loss of human touch in hospitality? Because the risk, a lot of people say machine will take the place or will replace human beings. And it is true that up until now, you mentioned mainly ways to just make operations more efficient. But are you afraid that we're going towards a direction of really replacing, to the point that we lose a little bit the human touch, that it's at the end of the day, like feeling home away from home kind of?
Yeah, no, it's a good question, because in this industry, it's a caring industry. It's very well known for that human interaction. And I just feel that it's actually going to enhance that, right? It's allowing the staff that they do have on property continuously being in person and available for those guests that are walking through the lobby to greet them. They don't have to run to the front desk to answer that guest call, because they have technology doing that for them. So I actually think it's going to enhance the experiences, the face-to-face interactions, because they're going to become more available.
Nice. So, well, we touched upon a main first pillar, I would say. So the staff shortage and the usage of AI for 2024. How about other trends that you're seeing for 2024? What do you think is coming next?
Yeah, I think it's directly related to AI. I believe the data of all these different best of breed technologies has started in last year, really, but it's going to really be expanded now in 2024 and beyond. And I know from our customers and our engagements with our major flags, the relationships and consultants, and just our presence in the space, that our customers and most hoteliers are challenged with having to manage all these different technologies. Last year, we had a focus on vendor management, and building on that is really the available technologies and their data. So you take that AI example, and the AI is able to collect a lot of data. And then Mitel can provide a lot of data points as well. So the vendors have to work together in order to build results-driven solutions based on that data. So it's the workflows that you're creating and all the different data from those different workflows that you need to have a seamless view into, so that you can build out very effective results-driven solutions. So data is going to be incredible, and it's not just the data itself; it's what you're going to do with the data.
Yeah. And well, then following what you just said, how about data privacy concern? Because already just with, well, to be fair, already since 2022, but in general with 2023, Google Analytics, we had so many data privacy concerns already throughout the past year and a half, 2 years. Well, definitely before that as well, but raising and growing a lot more. So how do you see this working with more AI and more data usage and the protection of guests' data, basically?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point, because it is in a lot of my customer interactions is the protection of the data, right? And mitigating any risks. And so it's very important. And one of the best things that you can do as a hotel owner is to protect your assets and refresh your environment and invest in the assets that you do have by reaching out to your vendors and making sure that you're at the very latest technology or software load in order to make sure that you're capitalizing on what your vendors are delivering from a data protection standpoint, because you don't want to be the one in the news with a data breach.
Yeah, definitely you don't. But and what are then some use cases or examples of hotels, or someone that maybe you came across yourself for personal experience or through Mitel that are using this cutting edge technology, both maybe in terms of data usage or also just augmented reality, AI solutions? So basically a bit of a summary of the two pillars use cases.
Yeah, and it's a great question, because there's lots of customers out there that are looking at AI that either have it on their roadmap or already implemented it and expanding on it. We have a larger gaming organization that we have been working with that is absolutely invested already in AI. And so we've implemented AI with them, and their calls are going through an AI solution. And there are calls that then get transferred to Mitel solution, where there's a voice agent. And we're able to share the data that they had already collected from the AI engagement into Mitel. So it's been very, very successful, and we're taking it into that next stage where now we're implementing the full booking process with all of those vendors. So you can imagine the vendor meets with the AI solution and the CRM provider and the PMS provider, all working together so that we can successfully assist a guest from the very first interaction of booking a room all the way through to completing their booking process with a bot. So it's very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm looking forward to it. Have you actually ever experienced it yourself, a hotel that is already so fast into AI?
Yeah, and it is interesting as a main vendor in this space and contributing to that transformation to actually experience it. I sense a lot of, ooh, we could do this better, or ooh, how do we make this more personalized? So it is exciting, and sometimes it takes away from your leisure travel when you
are
so involved.
Of course, I can imagine.
Because you're still working.
What's the one thing maybe that you felt like it was missing, like that you said this could be improved, or this isn't personalized enough, or this is too machine, or like what's that thing that you experienced and you thought, oh, maybe I should bring this back to work?
Yeah, I think it's the technology of the personalized engagement, right? So the improvement of that bot, so that you don't feel like you're actually talking to a bot, right? And the bot needs to understand exactly how you are communicating, whether that's in, a quiet voice or an angry voice or frustration, right? And picking up on that quickly so that you don't get transferred to a live agent and you can fulfill that guest needs. But really, it's just the full circle of the total solution. And that's where Mitel comes into play, right? There's always going to be the ability to talk to a live agent. And we see that they're using that for, again, those higher profiled customers. They're putting them straight to a live agent. So we'll see how that really transforms into 2024 and where that AI journey goes.
Yeah, very cool. I was actually, so there's a friend of mine who is now a doctor, because he just graduated from his PhD in artificial intelligence, and he specifically focused on languages and how does that work, and how can they replicate what humans do and how humans speak in a machine. And yeah, that's a bit of the issue, right? Like training the machine to understanding the context, give it a different tone of voice, giving a different, because that's the human touch, human feeling, human emotion that is
Yes.
hard to train the machine for, because there's so many nuances and so many differences that, yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm very curious to see where it's going to go and how accurate they're going to be actually.
Yeah. I think it's really going to be, again, it's all going to be focused on 2024. The overarching trend is going to be that customized, more personalized experience. And so, to your point, picking up on little things in that interaction, that bot is not only assisting what that guest is asking for, but it's picking up on small things. So, an example would be that they're able to identify that, the guest mentioned that there's an anniversary that they're celebrating, right? And it has nothing to do with the actual content of what that guest is asking for. But that bot can then say, ooh, let's see what anniversary packages we can offer. So it's going to actually transform to allow this communications engagement to get back to that revenue generating, tool for the hotels by upselling and providing a different experience for the guests.
Yeah, and I think that's actually, because not to talk about Oki, but Oki does upselling, right? So it's a bit there, right? Like catching up on those different kind of bookings and reservations that makes the difference in selling that upsell from the hotel, right? And that's really a crucial part, I think, because guests want more and more to be treated like more personally and more, always better, right? You always want more, and the more you are used to get a personalized approach, the more you want it. So it's just what we human being like, just being treated well, which that's nice. But moving forward to the next trend, what else do we see for 2024?
I believe the sustainability is going to be another continued focus in 2024. We saw it really start at the end of 2022, became, very clear in 2023 last year. But I think it's really going to kick up here in 24. And so what I mean by sustainability is, of course, eco-friendly. Previously, it's always been known as, pretty much a very ethical thing to do as an organization, to focus on, environment, people, and making sure that you're delivering eco-friendly solutions and experiences. But I believe that it's going to kind of really pick up as far as expectations from the guests. I believe we'll start to see guests choosing different properties and booking with different properties just because they have that. So the biggest trend, smart room, if you will, right? That really directly relates to sustainability and eco-friendly environmental focus, because you're allowed to not only deliver a guest experience that's touchless, personalized, custom, but you're also able to save money as well as an organization, as the hoteliers. So we're gonna see that become more of an expectation rather than this property has this type. Deal.
And about smart rooms, how do you see the cost of implementing and maintaining these smart rooms compared to the benefits that the hotels can provide, right? Because, for example, especially if we talk about smaller hotels, boutique hotels, independent hotels, maybe the trade-off there, it's different than a big chain, right? So how do you see that?
Yeah, and it's a good point, because it's very key to this market. We see that across all technologies and really all assets that hoteliers are investing in. There's definitely an entry point where we have full service properties, more marquee, technology showcased properties that are chosen by owners to try out new technologies, like, let's say, smart rooms. But the more, select service, limited service and lodging, they're 100-room properties. It's a decision where, the owners have to decide, okay, when does it make sense to implement this? Because it is, in order to implement a full smart room technology showcased room for the guest, it really does require a large investment in your existing assets, right? A full-blown renovation. And I'm not just talking just the smart piece of the room, the technology, but it usually is connected to a full-blown refresh renovation of the room as well. So they'll definitely have to balance the difference of the cost of implementing versus, the reward. But it's only a matter of time in where this smart technology will continuously evolve. We'll get to a point and a price point that will be effective for all properties.
And how about the challenges? You already mentioned a few, like the cost and whatnot. How would you suggest for some hotels that, or our guests who are listening to this podcast and want to start implementing this smart room technology? How do you suggest, like, what challenges can you foresee, and how could they overcome them?
Yeah, I think the main thing is back to investing in your assets, right? You can't implement a smart room technology without being ensure that your existing technology that you have has a strong baseline and a foundation in order for you to then implement in these new technologies. So if you just take, communications and UC, for example, we're not going to deliver a smart thermostat for you, right? We're going to continue to deliver what we do best, which is UC solutions and communications for our customers. And ensuring that technology is at the latest and greatest software will help you as you do invest in that different types of best of breed technologies so that we can easily integrate to it, right? We can't take a 20-year-old communications platform and integrate it to newer technology, right? So investing in the assets that you have and protecting them to not only mitigate the risk, but allow you to easily transform into that smart room.
Yeah. And if we take a step back from the smart rooms and we go back to the concept of sustainability, it has been, as you mentioned already, quite a hot topic. And what is going to change this year is that now it's going to be almost a requirement from guests. But how do you see it evolving this year? Like, what are other initiatives or things that you foresee or you think hotels could do to be more sustainable, to be the chosen hotels on top of the smart technology?
Yeah, I think sustainability and smart room are hand in hand, right? So, implementing a smart room technology allows you not only to deliver that guest with that personal experience. So let's say the lighting is a good example. You can, establish that lighting in the room to whatever that guest profile is preferenced. But then, of course, that helps allow you to save energy costs on what the electricity is for that room, because you're able to easily manage what that lighting is on or off, or, HVAC and AC is also a really good example, right? You don't have to have the room at a certain temperature. You can control it easier. So I think there's a lot of savings opportunity with it, but the real value will be, again, back to that personalized custom experience for the guest so that they get that experience to actually, experience that smart room. Because honestly, if you go to a hotel you're going to receive, it starts from when you check in, right? Are you checking in on your mobile phone, or are you going to the front desk to get actual key fob? And once you enter that room, it can open up every technology that's in that room connected to your experience and your preference, right? I mean, it started, a couple of years ago, even just with the television, right? And you see that you're able to log into your Netflix account and, the simple welcome Ashley on the TV, right? I mean, that's the very beginnings of it all. So I'm excited to see where the smart room technology goes in 2024 and beyond.
Definitely. Well, as the bell ring, we move on to the next section. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this topic, because I think it's all very interesting, and I think we can definitely apply and start working on a lot of the suggestions that Ashley gave us today. So our next section of the podcast is called the Shameless Plug. So Ashley, the floor is yours. You can shamelessly plug anything you want.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity. I've enjoyed spending time with you and talking about my favorite topic, hospitality. But I would be remiss without sharing really just Mitel's success in 2023. It was a huge year for us, and we're very proud to share that we have been in business for 50 years, celebrated our 50th anniversary in delivering communication platforms for our customers. And there's not many UC providers left there that can share the same, 50-year experience. So we're very proud of that. We will continue for our customers listening to service and support you for your communication platforms. And more recently, another big accomplishment that we had last year as a Mitel is that we acquired Unify, bringing us to be number 2 here in the UC market. Number 1 in Europe. And so we're going to continue to deliver based on a very sound, company for our customers. So I just want to thank our customers and all of our Mitel partners servicing our customers out there. And I look forward to a really strong 2024 together.
Well, thank you so much, Ashley, for everything you shared with us and you're learning from Mitel itself, because I think Mitel is a great big company and it has a lot of data that can be utilized for learning and educating people in the industry. So I think to wrap it up, we can just have a brief summary where Ashley shared with us 3, let's say, key pillars of trends for 2024. We have inability to retain staff and staff shortage, which will eventually be supported by AI. So AI being a big part of 2024. It is already this year, but next year even more to help operational efficiency and just support basically the team in the hotel. We have data, so vendor management and how data will support hospitality, having even more personalized experiences, and how having the right assets is going to help you bridging that gap between where we are now and a very tech-driven hospitality industry. And sustainability, which even though was already a very big topic in 2022 and 2023, 2024 is going to be a drive for guest behavior. And with that, smart rooms specifically are going to be really making the difference for hotels. So Ashley, it was super nice to have you here. Thank you so much. And thank you for sharing so much with us. I hope to see you soon again, and maybe on a new episode with Transport 2025.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.